Hey there, you guys. This is Dragon Ball and Cartoon Fan 2004 here. Yeah, my name's Jaden and all that stuff. And okay. So, guys, do you remember that video I made like over a month or two ago that was talking about the backstory about how I met the Return of the Fossa and all that stuff? And I was talking about how I met him. How I met him this March of this year in 2022 from his Woody Shrek style project. Well, yeah, about that, guys. Just so you guys know, yes. That night where I first found his Woody Shrek style series, and that was where I started talking to the guy and all that stuff, and I started watching him. That wasn't exactly where I first bumped into him. That wasn't exactly where I first met the guy. Just so you guys know. Yeah, I would say that was where I met the guy. I would say that was where I met the Return to Fossa. Since I started talking to him and all that stuff. I started watching his videos and all that stuff, and interacted with him and all that. But that wasn't exactly where I had my first experience with the Return to Fossa, and I just realized that like around a few minutes ago. And I thought it would be necessary to make a video letting you guys know about this, so yeah, you guys could get some information. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so there's this video from over 4 years back by Tyler, this YouTuber named Tyler Mitchell, where he ranks the four Shrek movies from worst to best. I'll leave a link to this video in the description below if you want to check it out. If you guys want to know what his ranking is, it's basically it's basically the same as my ranking. His ranking on these movies, by the way, is basically the same as my ranking of the movies, just with the top two entries being switched around. But yeah, there's this video I found. There's this video where he ranks the Shrek movies, and I started watching it like over 2 or 3 years ago. Like I do remember going back to watching this one a lot, like when I was spoofing Shrek 1, especially when I was doing my original Vegeta 1 Shrek 1 movie spoof project. And yeah, I was reading through the comments, and and I did find this video like over 2 or 3 years ago. Like I especially remember watching this video a lot when like I said before, when I was doing my original Vegeta 1 Shrek 1 movie spoof project, which was, just so you know, it was like back in back in September of 2020, over a couple of years ago. And I remember reading through these comments, and yeah, I do remember one of these comments. I do remember there being some comments, requesting this guy Tyler Mitchell to rank the Toy Story movies. And guess who made one of those comments? Yep, that's right. Fossa. The Return to Fossa. The Return to Fossa. Yep, I do remember reading a comment that said that told him to rank the Toy Story movies like that, and that was from the Return of the Fossa. Which, just so you guys know, yes, he did end up ranking the Toy Story movies like he was requested to do, but that's beside the point. Yes, I did. I do remember reading that comment, but I forgot who made that comment. I forgot who made that comment. I forgot who made that comment quickly after I read it, and so yeah, when I met the Return of the Fossa again, I would say again this year off of his Woody Shrek style project and all that stuff, I couldn't recognize the guy because I didn't remember his name from when I read that comment he made. So yeah, technically I made it sound like in that one video where I explained the backstory of how I met the Return of the Fossa, which I'll also leave the link to in the description below. Well, I would still say that's the backstory of how I met the Return of the Fossa. I wouldn't exactly say that that's the backstory of how I originally met the guy. So, yeah, that was definitely the backstory. It definitely explains the backstory of how I started talking to the guy and started watching his videos and how we became YouTube friends and whatnot. But yeah, I didn't explain that whole thing with me with me finding him in the comment section of that dude's video ranking the Shrek films, and yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that I bumped into him. I bumped into the Return to Fossa in that comment section back then until just now when I was, giving the video a revisit and scrolling through the comments and whatnot. So yeah, if I said that was the backstory of how I originally met the Return to Fossa in that backstory video, then I lied. I accidentally lied. No. That me reading the Return of the Fossa's comment is how I originally met him. I don't think I've seen him in the comments in any other videos like before we met like that. So that right there is really how I met the Return of the Fossa. That right there is really how I met the guy, and I would say that was a nice foreshadow. You know what I mean? It made a big foreshadow for me to meet the guy like over a year, over a year and a half later, like a year and a half later, and start talking to him, watching his videos, and becoming best YouTube friends with the guy and all that stuff. So yeah, just some information I thought you guys would be interested in hearing, because I do remember when I made that backstory video. Well, I did do a really good job with explaining the backstory of how we became YouTube friends and all that stuff. I did make it sound like that was how we originally met when no, that wasn't originally how I met the guy. I mean, that was originally how he met me, but that wasn't originally how I met him. You know what I mean? Because I saw him make that comment. I didn't even, but I didn't like really bother. It was like one of those comments, one of the main comments I read, but didn't really bother to like or dislike or reply or anything like that. Just kind of left it alone. Even though I've replied to a good chunk of YouTube comments on the internet before, but that wasn't because me and the Return of the Fossa weren't really friends at the time, and we have not yet seen each other's videos at the time. So just some information I thought you guys would like to know. But hey, I'd say sorry if you guys. I'm sorry for accidentally giving you guys misleading information by making you guys think that was how we originally met. But whatever. I'm sure it's not a big deal. I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. That video still explains the whole backstory about how we became YouTube friends and all that stuff. And that was like the major part of the video. And don't worry, guys. I won't delete the video just because of me making it sound like that was how we first met. No. I'll still leave the video up on YouTube because it's still a cool video that explains the backstory between us and all that stuff. But I think I might update the title to that video and rephrase it as like the second time, like maybe like have it say something like the backstory of how I met the Return of the Fossa the second time. Update the description of the video and maybe like post a comment saying like why I update the title and all that stuff, how it was the second time we met, and how I forgot about that at the time of the video. I couldn't remember that one time I originally met the Return of the Fossa in the comment section of that one dude's video of ranking the Shrek films from worst to best. But whatever, it's not a big deal. Although I would thought it would be something interesting for me to share and for you guys to know, just so you guys know. So yeah, that story right there, me reading through the comments on Tyler Mitchell's video where he ranks the Shrek movies, that was the initial story of how I met the Return of the Fossa. That right there, not how I started watching Woody Shrek style series on March of this year. No, but that right there, me reading through the comment section of that video on September of 2020, as I was currently working on my Vegeta 1 Shrek 1 movie spook project, that right there is how I met the Return of the Fossa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Okay, so yeah, I think I made that clear. But yeah, links will be down in the description below. I thought it would be some basic information I didn't realize until just now that I would like to share to you guys. And yeah, that's all for this video, you guys. Bye, everyone. Happy holidays, and thank you all for watching this video. Burped a little on the inside as I did that outro. Excuse me. But yeah, bye, everyone. Happy holidays. Thanks for watching the video.